Hello everybody, and welcome to this wonderful day. It's a warm and sunny afternoon, and I have just found out that I have a major problem with one of my machines, and it's my Bobcat. Of course, my Bobcat is giving me a very annoying problem, and here he is, or she, whatever it is. It's 553. And my problem lies somewhere on the other side of that lid. That's the fuel tank. So what happens then? Well, as I'm driving the machine, it starts to lose power firstly. After a while it cuts and I can't restart it. And what did I do then? Well, I went in to the engine compartment. It's very dirty right now. And down on the side here, I don't know if you can see down there, there it is. It's a hand pump. And I cranked on that hand pump like crazy, and it still didn't start. So I disconnected the hand pump right there. And there was no fuel coming out. None whatsoever. So, after that, I inspected the fuel tank and could come to the conclusion that I have a full fuel tank, just as my fuel meter in the cab, or fuel sender, whatever, is telling me that I have a full tank in the machine. And when I put the stick down, it showed that I have a full tank. But there's still coming nothing there. After that, I took some air, put it on the hose, and blew air there. And it bubbles out in the top of the tank. So air is coming through. But when I stop blowing air, no fuel still comes out of the fuel hose. So I blew again, and it bubbles up in the tank, no problem. But still no fuel through the fuel hose. So I started to thinking that, yes, it was a cold day. It was, I believe, like 4 or 5 minus Celsius. So my thought was that, okay, we have a problem with water freezing in the tank. That was my first guess, but then I thought, okay, I drove it for a good while before this happened. It can't keep that much fuel in the fuel lines, so that can't be the problem. And the other thing is that if it was frozen shut, it wouldn't let air go in one way and stop fuel in the other way. I'm pretty sure I think I know what the problem is. There must be a lot, and I mean a lot, of grime or dirt or leaves or something down in the tank that lets air in but stops fuel from coming out. No! My plan of operation is to try to empty this tank in some kind of good manner without spilling like 40-50 liters of diesel fuel. And since I can't drain it in the bottom, I need to pump it out, I believe. Then tilting the cab, and there is one more problem. It's not only a fuel tank. In the other end of the tank we have the hydraulic fluid tank, and it's the same tank, it's just different compartments. And there is probably like 30 liters of hydraulic fluid, and that's enough for it to be an annoyance. So I probably need to drain the hydraulic oil here and the fuel the diesel over here. Then tilt the cab up. Then I probably can unscrew the tank. The outlet of the tank is just right down in this dirty area there. You can see it. There is a valve and two hoses. One hose coming from the tank and one hose going down to the engine. And this is the valve in that direction like that. And it's open, of course. There might be a blockage in there. So before I do all of this emptying and things like that, I will loosen the hose coming from the tank to see if I have any flow there. Then it could be a blockage in this valve, because as you see, the outlet and inlet is going in that direction, so it does a U-turn. Comes in like that, goes down and goes out like that, and that's a possibility for a blockage area. And it's probably smaller tubage in the valve than in the hoses, so that's also something that can contribute to a blockage. So there can be a blockage right in there, and that will be something I will investigate before I do the bigger operation with the fluids and the cab and everything. So I need to move the machine. Not actually, I can actually do this first part right here where the machine is. I will start with something like that. I will be back when I have my decision made. I have traced my fuel line that doesn't provide any fuel up to the outlet. Well, now you're wondering why did we end up back in the workshop here? We were just out at the machine. Well, there was some problems. The reason why I'm in here now is because it's late and it's very, very dark. And the reason for it becoming very, very late and very, very dark is due to that I found a little bit of the problem. On the top of the tank, let's say this is the top of the tank, this is the bottom of the tank. Down in this corner here, the outlet hose with a small shut-off valve is sitting. It's going on the back of the tank up like that, coming to the top. On the top up here, you have the two outlets, or one outlet and one return for the diesel. And it just goes through the tank, through a rubber grommet, and on the inside there is a fitting for a pickup tube that's supposed to go down to the bottom. What I found out is that pickup tube isn't attached up here anymore. When I took this 90 off up here, I could see down in the tank with a endoscope. I found the pickup tube, and there we come to the reason why it's so late, because I took the endoscope and I used this pickup tool. It looks like this, and it can do that. And I tried for over an hour to fish the the old pickup tube up from the bottom of the tank. But I was unsuccessful, and that's where we are now. It's very, very late, and it's very, very dark. And I tried to film this, but there was so little light, so actually I didn't get anything good on camera at all. So what I ended up doing after that was that I made myself a new pickup tube out of this type of plastic tubing, and on the end I added one of these filters like that, and this end I fitted to the 90 going out of the tank. So it was a little bit longer than this one, but it was the same component. This kind of plastic tubing with one of these simple in-tank filters, and then I crimped it on here to the 90, and I hope that fixed the issue with the machine. That's actually what I need to find out tomorrow when I have some light. So I will be back then. See ya. Okay then, no day, and it's bright and early. Here is the machine, and now we can see the machine much better, and you can also see in there we have the pickup, we have the inlet, outlet, sorry, and return coming from the back there, going up and down into the tank, and we also have the fuel sender there. From this side it's not so easy to see because we have a lead going over here. The sender is just there, and the tubes are just behind that the cover. You see them coming up, sorry, right there, and going up and over to there. So, and the new tube is not going all the way to the bottom here. It's hanging a little bit off the bottom, like here somewhere in that height. But what I'm most interested in knowing right now is, did this solve the problem I had with this not working as it should? I'm not sure, but I hope so, and I will soon find out, because I will try to start this one and see if it did. I'll be back as soon as I have everything rigged. as you could see, it worked just fine. My fix seems to be a fix and not a fail. That's really good to know. Next up on this machine, one thing that needs to be taken care of in the really near future is the oil leak. It's a really bad oil leak of hydraulic oil. You can see over here, you can see it on top of the battery, around the battery. You can see it on the leads in the back there. There is a lot of oil leaking, and I'm pretty sure I know exactly, not that exactly, but I know the area it's leaking from. It's in here. It's one of these two leads sitting in here. One is sitting there, and the other one is sitting in the cylinder in the back there, but it's very dirty. And why I think it's here is just because it is so dirty, and it's very oily also. That's why I think it's one of the leads to this cylinder here. Because they go in there and they actually come out in there, and you can see it's very oily and dirty in that region. So one of those two leads is most likely leaking. But I need to clean this mess up to actually see if it is there, because you will also have a distribution block. I don't know if you can, there is a distribution block where you also have the safety valve, and that might also be a cause of leaking. And then there is something just there, and I'm not really certain of what it is, but it's very wet, so that can also be the source of the leaking. But it all needs to be cleaned out to be able to locate the actual leak. Then I have another small issue that I have fixed like this, and this is because on these machines you have something called the brick system, and the brick system is a safety system that don't allow you to move or drive or lift or anything if you don't have certain conditions fulfilled. And everything is called it's controlled by the computer called the brick, and it uses different kind of sensors, like the safety sensor there and other sensors, breakers, and it all goes through some breakers, breaker relays in here. And one of those relays didn't work for me, so I couldn't turn the safety valve off here. So instead of a relay, I put in a small switch here that I need to switch on to actually be able to bypass this safety breaker there and get the brick working. So every time I start up the machine, I need to put this on like that. Then that one is on, and off, it's off like that. But instead of having a small switch here, I would like to take a lead up to the front of the machine, up to here, and actually put it on the key. So when the key is turned on, the switch is turned on, and when the key is turned off, the switch is turned off. Much like that. So I don't need to have this small small switch in the back. That's my wish. And that's something I will try to do. And then I have another issue, and it's this. This is the traction lock. It doesn't work either for some reason, and I need to investigate that. And then I have also the bucket level, what's it called, floating position. It's electronic, and it's controlled from a switch up there. I don't know if you can see it in the sunlight, but up here on the side there are switches, and one of them is for the floating. One is for the locking control, and the other one is for the floating position. That makes this these arms and this tilt cylinder go in the float mode and following the ground. That also doesn't work. I also need to investigate that. And then one more most annoying problem, not so necessary, but it's annoying, is that this well, you can't see anything, I think. This horn button here doesn't work. Probably due to some leads, broken leads on the end of the stick or something. But that doesn't work, and that I want to work. Both so I can warn if something is gonna happen that can be dangerous for somebody, but also when you load like trucks and things, that you can signal them where they should stop and when they are loaded and things like that. So I want the horn to work. Otherwise, the most of the things on this one works. Well, the backup system, I try to do like that. I have a backup system. We can look at it from the other angle. This is a backup system controller, and back on the back hatch here we have backup sensors, and also on the sides. It works, but it needs power, and something is wrong with the power to this one. It doesn't get power, so I need to repower it or try to find the reason why the power release has stopped working. But this is the backup system, and then then there is one more thing, and it's the backup camera. It got stolen. I had a backup camera on this one, but it got stolen, and they stole both the camera and the screen I had. I had a screen sitting right in the middle up there, and I had a camera back in here, so I could see much like you do on a backup camera. You could see back from the machine. So it was sitting here, and the screen was sitting in the middle there, and it was a 9-inch screen. And that's because before that, just up there, before that I had an ordinary mirror just looking out the back window. But the problem with the mirror is that when you work in dusty environments or dirty environments, you don't see much. And also when you have the sun in the back, like now, it makes that window pretty white and very hard to see through. But it was sitting up here, so when you take the bar down like that, you can see out the window. So here up here, you are sitting in the position where I had the mirror, but instead I put a TV screen here, and I had a backup camera in the back. Some kids or something thought it would be fun to steal my camera, and they stole the screen also. But they didn't steal the light. That's pretty fascinating that they left the light, but they stole the screen and the camera. and the light was much more expensive compared to the backup system. Well, so I will see if I can find some kind of backup system to replace the old one with. That's about it. There's not much more to say about it. Well, let me think. There might just be something. Yeah, the stop function. This is the stop going with a wire lead here. But the problem in the cab is that it's that one sitting there. It's stuck and it won't move. So I need to either replace that one or do something so I can stop the machine from the inside again. Now I have to go out and manually push this one like this to stop it. Like that. This is the lead that's actually supposed to stop it, but it doesn't. So for that reason I have to make something that will work. So there is some issues on this one that I need to take care of, and I have when that's done, I also need to do some service on this, put a new hydraulic filter. It's up there, oil filter down there, air filter in there, and then the fuel filter. That's the fuel filter, just down there. So fuel, air, oil, and hydraulic. And then I need to change the oil, and I will also at the same time change my coolant, put new coolant in it, and that doesn't need to be changed, but I need to top off my hydraulic oil. That's all that needs to be done with the service there. And also maybe change this drive belt here, because it's getting a bit rounded. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Might be hard to see, but it's very rounded like that on the back side here. It's pushed to a little bit new shape, and I really like this machine. It has helped me out in many situations, and I hope it will keep on helping me out in many future situations. That's why I want to give it some love, so I can keep on using this one. So, well, on to the next one.